Hello everyone! Thank you for your continuous support. We have just passed 800 subscribers and we are getting closer and closer to 1000. I simply cannot wait to get there. I would also like to announce that I'm planning to do a 1000 subscribers special, and your help for that is most welcome. Today, we're going to be playing Mathmech using the same list in my last video, which you can check it by clicking the card on the top right. But this time, we are going to play PvP and see if it's going to be able to overcome various decks, including some meta matchups as well as some fun decks. Without further ado, let's get to dueling.
Our first match is against Bird Up. It's surprisingly a meta matchup, and we actually start with a decent hand as well. You will start by normal summoning Sigma, then activate Addition to special summon onto our field. That will get Max Seed. So I decided to not go for the full final Sigma combo here, and just HC summon into the Alumbration. And then activate its effect, get a search, set the trap and end the turn. Since I already also have a Max C, I don't feel so bad about this board. They start by activating their card, Descending Kit and then Norval to get Charis to their hand. Then when they activate Charis to special summon, I will Max C here. They get the Charis summon, I get to draw a card, so when they activate the Charis, I top that Wailer, so I will be able to negate the summon of a level 4 by pitching Wailer. Then they will activate Bird Crawl, getting the Lyrilusc card to their hand and special summoning another onto the field. Which allows us to draw another card, and I'll build that Prosperity from here. They'll special summon more Lyrilusc cards onto the field. For each we'll draw a card again. Then they draw HC summon into Recital Starling, which allows us to draw another card with Match C, but they will also search another card with it. And another HC summon into another Recital Starling for drawing another card. But we will Wailer that to stop them from getting 2 more cards. And they will summon Norval. Then they will link summon Charis and Norval into Ferrijit. They will activate the Lyrilusc, summoning more Lyrilusc to the field. We keep drawing cards with Match C. And then they will summon the Assembled Nightingale, but it only has 2 materials, and they will activate its effect to get a 3rd material, attaching us directly 3 times with 800 attack. Then activate its effect to make their Lyrilusc monsters can't be destroyed by battle, and then they will attack with Recital Starling. They won't take the damage, but we will. However, since I Wailered the first Recital Starling, I won't take the damage from that. For that reason, we will be able to dodge lethal. It wouldn't have been lethal either way, but we would be so close otherwise. So now they will use Utopic Future, and then they will summon Utopic Draco Future. They will also use another Lyrilusc to make Zeus here. But first they'll go into Downed Magician to have more materials, so they can make a 4 material Zeus. With all these cards in my hand, we will start our turn. Now, despite all these cards, I still don't have exactly what I need, so I will start with a Prosperity and Banishing 6. We're looking for just another special summon here, because most of the cards in my hand are normal summon reliant. And I eventually decide to take the double summon, so we will be able to use our normal summons twice. We start with a Diameter here, because I am hoping to summon a monster with Diameter to get a monster that has an Omni Negate, and they will immediately chain Utopic Futures to stop Diameter. I will chain Chalice on Utopic Future, because I still want to have Diameter on my side of the field to be able to summon something with it. This will resolve, Utopic Future will get negated, and Diameter will be able to summon a monster from my graveyard. we will immediately edge seize, so we will have an Omni-Negate on board. And Alumbration is also always great because it just allows us to draw another card. And we will use our trap card, hoping to get Diameter back on board here so I can have another Omni-Negate. And we will get Laplacian here, and using Laplacian, we will try to send Zeus and their cards in their hand to the graveyard. They will activate Zeus, we will chain the Omni-Negate, and then they will chain the Zeus again. This will resolve. Zeus will send all other cards on the field. And then Laplacian will send Zeus and their last card in their hand to the graveyard. So no more cards in the field. Then we can activate our double summon, and with it we can summon Nabla. Nabla effect to get a multiplication into rotation since I didn't have any yet. And I will activate effects of Sigma. Sigma plus multiplication makes us a final Sigma. The multiplication effect doubles its attack. Then we do 1000 more attack, and then we equip it with the equip card. And then we summon more monsters onto the field. So we can go into another final Sigma, just so that we have more monsters on board. I need to do this because due to the Pot of Prosperity's effect, I will only be able to do half battle damage here. And most of my monsters can't attack either. So we'll only be able to do 4000. But having two final Sigma, I still feel pretty good about this board, especially with the trap cards that we have in the background. They actually have a pretty good top deck. They will summon with the Summon of the Turquoise Warbler. I will chain Induction here to be able to have the Destroy effect whenever I need it. They will get the other Lyrilusc, searching the Norval. Then they will normal summon Norval. Now on the summon of Norval, I probably should have destroyed it, but it's not going to matter. They will banish 4 and summon the Link Monster. Then we will chain Induction here to destroy the Link Monster. On resolution, the Link Monster will get destroyed, but they will also banish the other final Sigma that I have, so we no longer have another defensive measure here. Then they will link 3, using these materials, into a Simorgh. Now they'll activate Norval, but we'll chain our trap card to do another HC summon. I'm hoping to have an Omni-Negate on board as well as an Interruption. So using these 3 materials, we will once again make another Laplacian. And then Norval will trigger drawing down Fractal. Now Laplacian's on summon effect, pitching 2 materials, sending 1 card from their hand and field to the graveyard, and then they will concede immediately because the Lyrilusc card was the only thing that they had for the rest of the turn, and with that drawn, they'll just surrender. Now, in our second match, we're actually going against Egyptian gods. So this will be a fun one. Our hands does have a Nabla, so we will activate Nabla summoning multiplication. Then, using multiplication and equation, we can just immediately go into a level 12, which will be final Sigma. After that, we'll set our 2 cards and pass the turn to our opponent. Let's see if they have what it takes out the final Sigma. Their hand is looking a little weird here. They'll start with the MSD, they'll activate the field spell, and then they'll end their turn. I will get another equation here, so I first will start with my trap to be able to deal more damage to my opponent. They will activate their hand trap to be able to summon it onto the field. That's pretty much all I can do for the turn, so I will pass. Then using their hand trap, they will summon Egyptian God Slime, and then activating its effect in the graveyard, they will add another card to their hand, which further allows them to summon Ra, and then using its second effect, they can summon the Ra's Disciple, summoning more Ra's Disciple onto the field, and then immediately after that tribute summon all 3 to summon Ra. They will summon the Ra with 9600 attack. Now, I will activate my trap to destroy the field spell because the field spell protects Ra from destruction, so I'm hoping to be able to hit them with Raideki on my next turn. They will draw Fear Mode, but it's not going to matter. I will take 6600 damage here, but using its effect I am at least able to get a Mathmech in rotation. They will activate another field spell and pass their turn. I'll start by drawing the card, but when I read the field spell I actually realize that it applies for both players, so I will summon the Sigma back using the equation, and when a level 10 or higher monster destroys a monster by battle, they will take 1000 damage by the effect of their own field spell and lose the duel. Our final match is against Draco. Now, I had some recording issues here where I was in the other side when I was recording, so I hope it's okay. I know why this has happened now and this won't be happening in the future, but I do apologize for the weird recording angle. Now my hand is a little weird with 2 addition and 1 subtraction, but it's actually still possible to make a play here, using Alambertion's effect to add a Sigma to our hand, then special summon the Sigma, then use Alambertion's effect to get back a level 4, and then using 2 level 4s and a level 4 tuner, we can go into final Sigma then. That's pretty much all we got going though, so we'll pass our turn and hope that final Sigma plus 2 hand traps will be enough. Their hand is not looking too great here, so they'll first activate all their spells and traps and then tribute summon one of their traps to summon their another monsters, and then they'll just pass back to us. Diameter is a really good top deck, so I'll start with Diameter, getting an addition to be able to go and make another summon. I'll choose to draw Synchro Summon here, because I'm hoping to destroy something with Magma and activate its effects to destroy 2 cards. They will activate their trap. I will use Diameter's effect to negate it. I'll go into battle, destroy it with Magma, and then using Magma's effect we'll also clear their back row. Now, they will also be able to activate their monster from the graveyard, which summons them another monster. And then, when their spells and traps are destroyed, they get to destroy Magma as well. But Magma does get me another spell, and this is precisely why I wanted Magma to be destroyed, because they have a 3000 defender, and without the spell I wouldn't be able to get over it. So this has been very fortunate for me that I could get Magma destroyed and get into my troop spell, which allows my monster to have even more attack points than 3000. Being able to hit over 3000 defenders. So, seeing that they just tribute over their defender, so that they'll just be able to float into another monster with it. Send in Multiplication, it allows us to first in 500 with the Eclipse spell's effect, but then since the Multiplication is sent to the graveyard, it doubles its attack, making it 7000, and this is a really nice trick to be able to hit over anything. They'll just float into another 3k defender, we will set and pass, and let's see if our opponents can draw anything. They just draw into another 2 Draco, so immediately they'll pass back the turn to us. We'll draw, an equation is nice, so we'll use the equation, getting Magma back. So we'll have multiple monsters to put more pressure. We will kill their monster using Final Sigma, and giving it double attack in case they summon something back. But they didn't, so it's fine, we'll just attack with Magma for more damage. The pressure is on. They top deck Stormforth here, but there's a really interesting fact that Stormforth does not work against Final Sigma, similar to Super Polymerization, where people think that those cards would affect unaffected monsters, but in fact they don't. So they'll have to tribute over Magma, but since they summon their monster in attack position, I will just be able to hit with Final Sigma, and then use the Eclipse spell's effect to send a Multiplication, increase it by 500 and double its attack, and that will do 9000 damage, which will end the game.
Now, let's go over some of the highlights of these duels.
We start with the Diameter here, because I am hoping to summon a monster with Diameter to get a monster that has an Omni negate, and they will immediately chain Utopic Futures to stop Diameter. I will chain Chalice on Utopic Future, because I still want to have Diameter on my side of the field to be able to summon something with it. This will resolve, Utopic Future will get negated, and Diameter will be able to summon a monster from my graveyard. We will immediately HCs, so we will have an Omni negate on board. And Alambertion is also always great, because it just allows us to draw another card. And we will use our trap card, hoping to get diameter back on board here so I can have another Omni-Negate. And we will get Laplacian here, and using Laplacian, we will try to send Zeus and their cards in their hand to the graveyard. They will activate Zeus, we will chain the Omni-Negate, and then they will chain the Zeus again. This will resolve. Zeus will send all other cards on the field. And then Laplacian will send Zeus and their last card in their hand to the graveyard. Then they will link 3 using these materials into a Simorgh. And they'll activate Norval, but we'll chain our trap card to do another HC summon. I'm hoping to have an Omni-Negate on board as well as an Interruption. So using these 3 materials, we will once again make another Laplacian. And then Norval will trigger Drawing Down Fractal. Now Laplacian's on summon effect, pitching 2 materials, sending 1 card from their hand and field to the graveyard, and then they will concede immediately because the Lyrilusc card was the only thing that they had for the rest of the turn, and with that gone, they'll just surrender. They top deck Stormforth here, but there's a really interesting fact that Stormforth does not work against Final Sigma, similar to Super Polymerization, where people think that those cards would affect unaffected monsters, but in fact they don't. So they'll have to tribute over Magma, but since they summon their monster in attached position, I will just be able to hit with Final Sigma, and then use the Eclipse spell's effect to send a multiplication, increase it by 500, then double its attack, and that will do 9000 damage, which will end the game.
So we're back, and those games were fun for sure. Mathmechs are certainly underrated, and they don't only summon Final Sigma, but can consistently get Omni-Negates and non-targeting, non-destructive interruption on your opponent's turn. Not only that, but this list can be improved even further. For a main deck, adding the cards such as Silent Mining can go a long way, setting up the graveyard as well as searching any Mathmech monster you want. Balancer Lord is another great level 4 Cyberse monster that will give you another normal summon, further increasing the consistency of your hands. For the extra deck, Alumbration is a card that I really underestimated initially. This card is so good for the deck, and I found many instances where I would love to be playing a third copy. Another excellent addition to the extra deck could be the Access Road line. This deck does contain many tuners, so going into Halter Fiber shouldn't be that much of a problem. And since we're also main decking Effect Wailer, we can use Selene as well to make Access Road. Cards such as Addition, Subtraction, and Sigma locks you into Cyberse monsters for the rest of the turn, but Access Road Talker is a Cyberse monster, so the worst case scenario you can still hard summon Access Road Talker. I think this deck has a lot of unexplored potential overall. I hope this has been a worthy showing of the Mathmechs, and for my next video I am planning to build a pure Lyrilusc deck. It will still be free to play, and in fact I will be trying to build it using as few gems as possible. And I will also include the pack opening so you can also see what I got from the packs as well. So I hope you'll look forward to it. I have various other videos planned too, such as the 1000 subscriber special, and I'm hoping to get there with your help. And with that out of the way, all I can say is I hope to see you in the next video.